In the beginning, there was only the primordial condition chaos. Out of chaos emerged the first primordial beings, great gigantic beings who personified aspects of creation. Gaia, who personified earth, Eros, who personified love, Tartarus, the abyss, Erebus, the darkness, and Nyx, the night. Gaia, without any mate or act of procreation, produced Uranus the sky, Uria the mountains, and Pontus the sea. All of them are powerful beings with their own area of dominion, but in this story, Uranus plays the biggest part. Gaia took Uranus as her spouse and proceeded to mate with him. Out of their union came the first generation Titans, 6 females, Mnemosyne, Phoebe, Rhea, Theia, Tethys, and Themis, and 6 males, Coeus, Crius, Hyperion, Iapetos, Oceanus, and the youngest of them all, Cronus. Since birth, Cronus bore a deep hatred for his lustful father. After Cronus' birth, Gaia and Uranus agreed to not give birth to any more Titans. Besides the Titans, Gaia and Uranus also had other children, 3 Cyclopes, which means orb-eyed, and named for the fact that they're giants who only have 1 beady eye in the middle of their forehead instead of the usual 2, and 3 Hecaton Kyries, also called the 100-handers. They're giants with, like their namesake, 100 arms and 50 heads on their respective shoulders. Uranus saw and deemed the Cyclopes and Hecaton Kyries too monstrous from the moment they were born. He despised these children, and they, in turn, also held disdain toward their father. Uranus would hide them from the light of day by imprisoning them deep inside the earth, inside Gaia. Gaia was enraged that her children were so poorly mistreated, and so hatred began to grow in her heart towards Uranus, and a plot began to develop. Gaia made the element gray flint, and from it she fashioned a great jagged sickle, strong enough to sunder Uranus the sky. Gaia then told her Titan children of the deeds their father had done towards their poor siblings, and pleaded with them to help her rescue them and overthrow their father. All of her Titan children were afraid of their father Uranus and the power he held, all except Cronus, who also held deep hatred for his father. So Cronus listened to his mother's plea and her plot to slay Uranus. Gaia would have Cronus hide in ambush until Uranus comes, bringing the night with him, and have Cronus use the great sickle she made on Uranus. So Cronus hid, waiting deep in the shadows until night came. Then Uranus came, as he does every day, bringing the night with him to blanket the earth. Ready to execute the plan, Cronus promptly came out of his hiding spot, armed with the great sickle, and with all his might, he struck Uranus in one fell swoop, severing his genitals. Losing his potency, Uranus was no longer sovereign of the earth, his rule now overthrown by his youngest son. In the aftermath, Cronus took over as king and ruler over the gods. The castrated genitals fell down to the sea near Cyprus, and blood gushed out from the severed limb, fertilizing the earth all over. Many creations sprung forth from this event, namely the Furies, the Giants, the Tree Nymphs, also called the Meliae, and most famous of which is probably the goddess Aphrodite. After producing new creations, the severed genitals turned into sea foam near Cyprus, and from that foam arose a beautiful goddess. That goddess is Aphrodite. After losing his powers, Uranus finally reconciled with Gaia. Their relationship mended and their union restored. Cronus then took Rhea, his Titan sister, as his wife. Through his consummation with Rhea, Cronus sired 6 children. These 6 children are Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and the youngest one, Zeus. Unfortunately, wickedness took root in Cronus' heart. He refused to help Gaia free his siblings, the Cyclopes and the Hecaton Kyries, and chose to keep them locked up instead, but this time inside of Tartarus. Gaia despaired over this, and she, together with Uranus, foretold a prophecy towards Cronus. As he has usurped his own father and took over as supreme ruler over the gods, so shall his offspring then rebel against him and overthrow his rule. Cronus grew increasingly worried towards his mother and father's prophecy, so he proceeded to swallow all his children as soon as they were born. Keep in mind that in mythology, these titans can change their shape and size freely. Being gods, these children didn't die, but instead grew up inside of Cronus's bellies. Rhea was stricken with increasing grief by the fate of her other children, and great fear overcame her when their last offspring Zeus was born. In order to save Zeus from the same fate, Rhea devised a plot to fool Cronus. Right after Zeus was born, Rhea took a rock the size of a godling baby and wrapped it in blankets for Cronus to swallow instead. She then gave Zeus to Gaia to care for and raise in a hidden place away from Cronus' presence and sight. When Cronus demanded the baby from Rhea, she gave him the rock and Cronus promptly swallowed it. Cronus didn't doubt a single thing. He was sure, as he was every time before, that what he swallowed was indeed his youngest, and he was sure that his reign was still safe from his offspring. Far away, hidden by Gaia, Zeus would grow up safely away from Cronus' prying eyes, guarded by warriors who raised him to be a strong and just god, strong enough to finally stand up to his vile father Cronus and save his brothers and sisters. But that's a tale for another time.